love my new boat.
All right, so here we are today looking at Scott's 2023
Yes.
Z19 Pro. So why don't you just describe the name of the boat, the year and model and all that.
It's a 2023 Z19 Pro model made by Bass Pro Shop, White River Marine Corporation. It's a 19-foot 6-inch boat. It has a 200 horsepower Mercury on the back of it. The Pro equipped model came with 2 fish finders, 24 36 volt trolling motor, the 200 horsepower double axle trailer. The added things that I did was a second console on the passenger side that's removable.
Let's take a look at that here. So this is what you had put on, right?
Correct.
And that comes off, you told me.
That's removable by 3 nuts underneath the console. Of course, the nuts are about 2.5 inch diameter that are hand tight. You know, there's about 12 pounds of torque on it because it's fiberglass, and that's it. Has a 50-gallon gasoline tank. It is a 4-stroke motor, so there's no mixing of oil. Just go to the gas station and put your 50 gallons in and go do a job to pay for the gas. But it tops out at 72 miles an hour with me and no equipment in the boat. Just me and the gas and the weight of the unit itself.
It says EV, no EVs 15, right?
Right.
So
I will, starting off, I will punch the throttle, plane down, and run about 35 to 40 miles an hour. Seems to be the optimal ride speed, skipping across the top of the waves, not bouncing, not taking a beating. I'm retired. This is for fun. I'm not fishing for money or anything like that. I may do a tournament or so, but I'm just enjoying what I was able finally to get done and pick this boat up. It's easy to maintain. I wipe it down after each use.
let's just walk around, take a look at the trailer. And
Got it December 1st, and here it is the 26th of March.
you said you just got about 20 hours on it, right?
I just turned 20 hours this morning on it. The trailer has a fold-away tongue if you have a storage issue in your garage.
And it came with that, right?
Yes, this is standard on the boat. I fold it back when it's on my driveway charging to give more people walkway across the sidewalk. It's a simple little thing. I bought a lock in case I'm at a ramp that's not really too secure, but it came with 1 spare tire. I ordered the 2nd spare tire. I've yet to install it on the boat. I do carry it in the truck if I go on the road. It's a dual axle trailer. If I get a flat on one side,
right,
odds are I'm gonna have 2. So
right,
that's why I bought the extra wheel and tire. I did upgrade the electronics at the console. Same unit, just larger. I went from the 9-inch to the 12-inch. It makes it reading the graphs a lot easier because it's a little bit larger.
It's the Lowrance, right?
It is the Lowrance HDS Live is the model.
Yes, you can look that up online. I mean, it's available at Bass Pro, and you have it. It's also networked to the front.
It is networked. All electronics, everything on the boat that is electric is networked together, including the trolling motor and the outboard motor. 2 GPS systems, 1 for primary, 1 for backup. It came from the factory as this is the Lowrance HDS Pro system, or what they call Pro Electronic boat. It is a feature on the Z19 Pro. You do not get it with the regular Z19 model, but because I opted the extras, it was cheaper going by the Pro than adding everything up additionally. It does have four-wheel brakes on the trailer. All the wiring is encased in the trailer until you get to each individual light. The brake system is surge. You don't have to worry about a reservoir. It's enclosed in the trailer, so it's not going to get punctured or anything from a road hazard or any of those items.
And this is for the Pro model. This is stock.
This is stock. This is the stock motor. Simple switch.
You said it's got quite a few horsepower, right?
It has 86 pounds of thrust. If you go to the 36 volt system, it gives you 120 pounds of thrust. But I've loaded this boat up with 3 people and fishing gear, and I've yet to run it over number 5 on the dial, which is like halfway through the thrusting cycle. It has the recessed lights that you don't have to worry about getting broke off on the bow. One of the things that Nitro introduced years ago was the driver cleat. Again, this is a automatic issue with the Pro model. If you buy the boat without the Pro options, you pay for this cleat $125.
Wow.
It does have a 5-inch LCD touchscreen panel for all your switches. Instead of individual switches, it's all concealed in a printed circuit unit. No more fuses, which one blew. I don't have power. If you don't have power, you don't have power to anything in the boat. So
right.
It's a pretty simple thing. It has tilt steering. I have
Now it came with or you bought that extra seat for the middle?
the center seat. I paid for. That's an option that Bass Pro offers on all their boats if you want to pay the money. Ironically, the funny thing was I wanted an additional fishing seat, but they couldn't tell me until they got the boat to the store on what the color code was going to be.
So do you have a fishing seat for the front as well?
I have a fishing seat for the front, and I also have a leaning post for the front. Depending on what type of fishing I'm doing, I do also go speckled perch fishing. Bass fishing is my primary. All the wheels, including the spares are matching. They're from Bass Pro Shop. They're aluminum.
They look like, yeah, aluminum alloy wheels.
Yep.
It's nice.
Again, I can't speak any highly more about how I feel about the boat. It has really been a dream fulfilled. One of the other features that I did put on was the Mercury SmartCraft gauges. You don't have to wonder how many hours I have on it. If your speedometer for any reason goes out, of course you can use your electronics, but this has a digital readout on it also. It tells you how many hours you use, what your fuel consumption is, how much fuel you have left, how many more miles you have left, etc. There's 2 in the package. It was fairly expensive, but like they told me, I wouldn't regret it if I put them on. And I've come to enjoy these gauges.
So one of the things I want to do is go over all the storage you got, because it's got quite a bit of storage as well. And before we do that, though, can I ask you about the battery? Because you mentioned it.
Sure.
Can you go over again how many batteries you have and how you're set up here?
Sure. There's 4 batteries on board this boat. I paid to have an extra battery put on the boat simply for the electronics. Over the years, electronics have progressed very rapidly, but there's still a little bit of interference out there, whether it be your cell phone or, of course, finding a ground on a boat is very, very
especially a
hard to do.
fiberglass boat.
Yeah. So a lot of times that's where they pick up a little bit of interference, is from the outboard or even your trolling motor. So the industry recommends, at the cost of another battery, you put in an individual battery just for your electronics to eliminate all the grounds tying together. That wiring is specifically for your electronics and nothing else. Of course, I had to pay for the battery, battery box, and the extra wiring, because they put its own wiring in for that.
Okay.
So extra expense, yes, but I think it was well worth it. Knock on wood, other than me having issues understanding the capabilities of the electronics, I haven't had any issues with them.
Does it come with gel batteries or just lead acid, or?
I did buy the gel battery for the electronics, and the two trolling motor batteries are Group 31, which is a normal lead cell battery, but it's a larger capacity. And there is an AGM for the house battery, or the motor battery, the boat battery.
Okay.
I put an extra bilge pump in, seeing how we live in Florida and it's alone at some time. That is wired directly to the battery for any reason if the boat gets inundated with a lot of water.
So
or something.
it's got a switch, a water sensitive switch.
It's got a float switch in it, and it automatically will kick on. Getting to the storage is phenomenal on board the boat. These are matching on the passenger and the driver's side. Actually, these are designed to have hold.
Looks like you can pull them out too.
Yes,
right?
they do. They will hold 7 of your largest Plano, Bass Pro Shops, Fenwick containers. They drop right in. They slide in. The best thing about it is they're removable, so you can
get right to the battery,
take your batteries out of your boat without breaking your back.
Yeah.
And that's on, of course, both sides of the boat. And
these seats are not. These don't move, right?
No, the seats do not move. Marine industry they don't really want movable seats. Not that there's seat belts on them, but there are grab handles on the side of them that people have a tendency of grabbing on in rough water. It did come with a power outlet for the new electronics. Actually, there's dual outlets there for your cell phone charging and all that. The live wells, there's 2 27-gallon live wells on the boat. It has a pump out feature where you can pump the water out just by pulling a nozzle in the back of the live well. It has, of course, the matching one on the other side. Because this is a pro model, it came with a culling system if you're going to fish tournaments.
That's pretty neat.
And it also comes with a drop-in roller so you can measure your fish and not get in trouble from the game commission. So that's all with the pro model. And of course, one thing I didn't mention earlier is on the pro model you get a hot foot. And if you're not familiar with that, that's a gas pedal that's on a car, but it's on the boat.
Yeah, you can see it down there.
And
I'll zoom in on it. You can see it. I was with Scott in the water today. It was pretty neat watching him just use the foot pedal to accelerate and move around.
You take one of the possibilities of getting sidetracked out of the equation by just having your foot on it. Now, in
this another storage area here?
In the back. No, this is your...
Where's your battery?
Yeah, this is your battery box. The power pole, hydraulic
pump. It's hard to believe you even have more room in there if you wanted to put another battery.
You could put another battery over there if you had to. It does have the 4-bank built-in battery charger, which is great. I back the boat up on the driveway and I plug it into an extension cord, and within an hour all 4 batteries are fully charged and I can unplug it and go put the unit away.
What's that switch?
This is the master switch. This kills all the power to everything except for the trim on the outboard.
Okay.
The reason that is not cut out, because if for any reason you have to elevate, you don't have to get in the boat to turn the master switch on. That's the only thing that's powered on the boat until you turn that switch on.
I've heard of people getting back on the boat by grabbing onto the motor and then using the switch and lifting them up out of the water with the...
There's in past history there has been issues where people could not get themselves back in the boat, and you know, you have to, in the water you got to be pretty genius on if an emergency comes up on what to do.
Speaking of that, there's a little ladder here.
Go overboard, you have a ladder to climb up on instead of
it's pretty neat.
trying to climb up on the outboard. One of the added features on this boat is I did add twin 8-foot power poles for shallow anchoring, which is great. Like this morning we were out on the water and the wind was blowing pretty good, and
yeah, it was howling.
we decided to stop in one area, and I didn't have to worry about throwing out an anchor or a wind parachute or any of those things that are on the market for years. This is the latest greatest, is these shallow water anchoring systems. I chose Power Pole over the Minn Kota. They're both the same price. It's a preference thing, I think. Power Pole has hydraulics. They are excellent people to work with. I have heard stories where somebody called and said that this isn't working or that isn't working, and they said, we have a authorized dealer in your city, take it over to them. And at the end of the day, there was no charge. They took care of the issue.
And you also said you had a jack plate on here as well, right?
I do have a hydraulic jack plate.
Does that come with it, or does that?
No, that's an extra. My wife mentioned to me, if you're going to build a boat, build it the way you want it and pay for it now instead of
just
paying for it as you go.
You're paying more later on as you try to add it on.
So get what you want, and
that came in handy today. We were going through the hydrilla. I just lifted.
The hydrilla is growing very rapidly in Lake Harris. In some areas it's already at the surface, and here it is the end of March. June and July and August are going to be very interesting on how, but fishing in South Florida for years on Lake Okeechobee, when the water gets shallow and the weeds get very, very thick, without a jack plate, you're not going to get your boat up on plane. Years ago, they used to put trim tabs, believe it or not, on freshwater boats. So as you plane forward, the trim tab would push the rear of the boat up in the air to get your motor up out of the weeds. But yes, it is a must to have for shallow water fishing, mainly when you're dealing with lakes that have vegetation that gets very heavy during the summer. It came with these ratcheting tie-down straps, which are on both sides, which is a lifesaver. You don't have to buy a strap and go across the boat, back down to the trailer and everything.
You have more storage up front too, right?
I do. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me get back up in the boat.
Yeah, and you got this little compartment here where
in the console there's a glove box that goes all the way down to the rod locker. It's very, very deep. You can put you could probably fit a kid in there. And
if they're not behaving, that's where you put them.
And there's also a storage area under the center seat that is on top of the fuel tank, so it's not really all that deep, but it's enough to throw your keys in there or something along the line. This is a 42-gallon ice cooler.
Well, that's pretty neat.
It goes all the way to the bottom of the boat.
Still has ice in it today.
Still have ice in it from first thing this morning. It goes all the way, if I can get my hand through the ice, I probably won't because it's solid, but it's approximately about 18 inches deep. Runs across the deepest part of the well, runs across about 15, 18 inches wide, and then you have what they call a sandwich tray and a garbage can that comes in the
lots of water bottle holders.
Water cup holders everywhere. Pliers. I have the offset ones, and I also have the straight ones. You know, you get it, unfortunately sometimes that hook gets down in the throat and it's kind of hard to get out. This is your main tackle locker, and again, different than the back store, there's two more cup holders in here.
Man, you could store a lot of cups.
There's scissors down in here. These are removable and adjustable. It's not a cutting board, it's just for your if you don't want to leave it in a bag, you can throw your boxes in like so, and stack them up all the way accordingly, and on the side also, however you want to do it. They say you can put 24 of these boxes in this boat without altering anything. That's got a lifetime of gear in it, besides the gear in the garage that the wife screams about all the time, but she wouldn't scream if I had to go buy it today. So a long time ago, a lot of it was bought, so we don't buy it today. But they say lures or tackle is made for the fishermen, not the fish.
Well, you know, I was thinking today, plastic lures, they have a finite lifetime. A few fish bite them and they're gone. But,
yep.
You know, you get
they're very soft, and they want that natural feeling to them.
You get that Rapala lure though, you buy it 10 years ago, it's still going today.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. This is the rod locker. Now, each one of these lockers have lights already inside, so you don't have to buy a light kit and have it installed. That's a standard issue with a Nitro boat. It's not just a pro model issue. There are sleeves in there for 12 rod and reels.
And you have one on the other side as well?
No, this is more of a storage for like your life jackets,
okay.
Your fire extinguisher. The active target module is in here for the fish finder.
Oh, and the other thing we forgot to show is that there's little holes for your rods to go in here and then come out the back of the boat. And that's because you have this console here. You
yep.
can't lay them flat. But that worked out today very well, so I can attest that it works.
Each one of the lights in the lockers, or you can turn off or on if you want them. This is the store everything hatch. This is where
that's the
put the leaning post,
yeah.
And of course it comes with the Nitro name on it and all that stuff. But the seat posts are in here. The
even have storage for that too. What's this here? This the light?
That's the
that's the back for the light.
Rear light, the anchor light.
You tell them your new toy that you bought?
No, I didn't. I bought a. It's made for the GoPro system.
I just want to hold that up and talk about what that is.
This is the stick I was speaking about earlier for your GoPro. It actually extends your height of your anchor light upwards to 53 inches above your hull. Your GoPro will mount here. You have a power outlet that you will plug in here.
It comes with all the cables.
Comes with all the cables and everything.
The battery door for the
battery door and the silicone to protect the battery door. It's all you can buy just the pole or you can buy the kit. I chose to buy the kit. This way I didn't have, oh my God, am I doing the right thing? Or it's raining, is it gonna? It comes with 3 different types of the locking mechanisms that locks into your stern light. It comes with, that's your power accessory cord. There's your box of silicone. They have a tether cord, and also you can get a strobe light if you're filming in low light conditions.
Okay, sounds good. I'll be anxious to see how it works.
You and me both. But see, it comes with the 3 different collars on there, different sizes.
Okay.
And what they do is you plug it into your anchor light, and you don't have to worry about the batteries on your GoPro going dead.
Yeah, you just turn your light on. You connect the. It's got
you turn your light on, and it's
got a wire that connects
your,
to it. Yeah.
Your unit, and it's for all day fishing. The only thing you have to make sure is you have enough cards, and or there's an option on which model you may have, but some of them have a thing where it only videos for 10 seconds, 20 seconds, whatever you want to set it up for. And at that point, you know, if you just want to video my biggest fish of the day or whatever, you can, when you get home, you can edit it out and do whatever. But
yeah, Scott's talking about hindsight. It's on here, GoPro Heroes 10 and 11. and you could, if you have a remote control, you click the remote and it'll record up to 30 seconds before you click the remote. So it's really great for if you want to videotape fishing. You don't have to, you know, record all 3 or 6 hours out there. You could just record when you catch the fish, or actually when you cast to catch the fish. So it's a great system, and I'm gonna have to get one of those for my boat too, because you know, if you want to use a GoPro on a boat, there's not a lot of places that you can mount it safely, and that's one that they came up with, and it's a good idea.
I'll show you the stick at the end of the video. But this is, I have life jackets in here, first aid kit, rain suit, bumpers for the boat if we go to a restaurant for lunch or something like that, which the wife enjoys to do, and I enjoy it too. And not only that, we get to spend some time on the water together. Again, the module for the active target is in here, the fire extinguisher. Underneath these windshields, there is there's an access panel under this one only, not the one on the passenger side. And what that is that takes you to all your electrical stuff. That this is enclosed. It's sealed on the bottom, it's sealed on the top. It's pretty much waterproof. You take these 4 knobs off, then you have a flat access panel that has a neoprene gasket underneath it, which is what stops the water from getting in there if you take a wave over the bow or what have you.
Where's the fuse box? Is it underneath? It's in there?
It's under here. Yeah. It's all in waterproof.
And you can't get to it from underneath the...
No, sir. You got to take this. It's pretty simple.
That's okay. You want to do it? Yeah,
do it.
Show them what it looks like. The knobs come out, or they just loosen?
Yeah, they come straight out.
Might as well give them their money's worth, right?
Yeah. There's your access panel right there to get into the electric components, your fuse panel, and this, believe it or not.
So you carry extra fuses?
Yeah, I do. The being an owner of a RV, you always got to have a fuse laying around for something.
And you've had plenty of boats, right? This was your 6th or 7th boat?
Yeah, this is my 7th boat. But there's all your electronics. Everything's in a sealed unit. This is actually a hose for your hydraulic steering. This boat has power steering on it. It's when you crank down on a 200 horsepower, there's no way any given man is going to be able to turn that wheel to the left or right. It's going to go where it wants to go. So with the hydraulic steering, it stops that from happening, and it makes it easy to steer. You can turn this thing wide open. You're going to slide, obviously, but you can turn it. It's not a battle. But here's your neoprene seal that goes on the back. This is a aluminum panel, so it's not a whole lot of weight added to the boat. And I think it's a great concept. Everything's here. Everything these days is done with easy access and easy repairs for your anything to do with electric. And of course everything comes here because this is where all your information is sent to the driver of the vessel. But other than that, one of the things I didn't touch on earlier is I have on the steering column there is a tilt lever and also a jack plate lever. You don't have to take your hand off the wheel. You can reach down there with your pinky and adjust the trim or the jack plate, the elevation of the motor, however you want to do it.
And the power poles are by remote control?
Power poles are done by a remote control. You get, with each unit, you get a key fob or a fob, and you get a lanyard. Now additional buttons at the bow, double tap up, double tap down, and both units go up and down with that double tap. You can release the pump. If for any reason the pump quits working, you can release the pressure to get your arms up or down.
Well, it clearly demonstrates it's not hard to take this thing, open it up.
No, it's a.
If you're on the water and you have a problem, but
yeah. And one other option that I did decide on, it was an extra, and it was not expensive by any means. And carpet in the bottom of a boat always seems to be an issue. They have come up with a mat now.
Oh, that's nice, yeah.
That is weatherproof. It's rubber. It drains. They put in, by doing this mat, you have 3 drains in your floor instead of 1 in the middle.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see them.
And it has a flow channel all the way around it so the water can be below the mat and make it to the drain.
Right here. Okay.
And again, it's an option. You can actually get the whole deck of your boat done with this material, but that does at that point seem to get fairly expensive. You're looking at $2,700, $3,000 to do the whole deck on this boat. The XL21s, they're very, very expensive. I'll leave it at that,
yeah.
Regardless of what the options are you put on. But one thing about that boat, there's not many options that aren't already on the boat.
Yeah.
So you kind of get what you pay for type thing.
So is there anything you think that we left out? I mean, we've kind of covered most everything I had on my list. The only thing I would like to say is we went out fishing today, and the boat was incredibly easy to launch and to receive on the trailer. I mean, considering the size and weight of the boat, it was easy. It was as easy as my 16.5-foot aluminum boat, if not easier.
Well, one thing about having other boats in the past is, like anything else, you learn from experience. And for many years, it was one of my daughters or my wife or just myself that was launching the boat and trailering the boat. And I learned early there's got to be an easier way. On the market today, there's all kind of aids to help people launch boats by themselves.
You talked about a stretch rope today, right?
There's this, it's made by T&H or sold by T&H Marine. It's actually it's called a stretch launch rope. And what it does is you hook it to your trailer and you hook it to the bow of your boat. And as you take your boat off your trailer, this rope stretches. And you can slowly pull your boat up to where you can maneuver the boat to the dock and tie it up and go park your truck and trailer, and your boat is secure just by having this rope. One of the other inventions that have come along with a driver's side cleat, is this driver's launch rope. And it too stretches. So you can sit in the console seat and secure your boat on a dock
using the cleat that's right here.
Using that cleat without having to get up and run to the front or the back of the boat to secure your boat.
That's pretty nice.
One of the other aids that have come about in the launching of the boat by yourself is the steps that's on the bow of the boat.
Oh yeah, we forgot to mention that. Yeah, these are becoming very popular these days. This came standard, right?
That comes with this model, yes sir.
Mounts right to the trailer, and
it's mounted to the trailer. Only thing I would say, because as we get older, our stability is not what it used to be, is just make sure you hang on to that bar.
Yeah, not only do you have steps, but you have this bar that you can, make sure you don't fall or pull yourself up with. It's really, it's really neat.
And one of the great things about that is you can step into your boat without having to get your feet in the water, and now you're sitting there with soggy, wet shoes all day while you're fishing.
Yeah.
And then the only thing I think we haven't covered is the custom-made cover. That takes one person about 15 minutes to put the whole thing on, secured, and ready to go back to the lot.
So you had to buy this, right? That's an option.
That's $600. And because everything was bought through Bass Pro Shop, everything is warranted for 7 years. So if you're in the market, don't cheat yourself. Go take a look at a Nitro. Dollar for dollar, they're competitive with all the other boats out there, and they're more affordable. One thing a lot of people don't know is Bass Pro Shop now owns Ranger, Triton, Mako, Nitro, Regency,
Tracker.
Tahoe, and Bennington pontoon boats. That's one
Talking about
company
monopoly, huh?
selling every boat, whether it's a water ski boat, bass boat, pontoon boat, you name it, they got their hand in it.
Yeah. It's called economy of scale too. They're doing it on
Absolutely.
such a large scale, you can get a better deal.
Yep.
So you bought directly from Bass Pro as opposed to going through like Nobles or some other marine store?
I did choose to go through a corporate store, and the reason being I thought that I could have more options to deal with before the boat went into manufacturing. I had a problem at the beginning. I basically ordered the boat by their information that's available online. I took it down to Bass Pro Shop. I said to the salesman, this is what I want. How long is it going to take before the boat goes into production? He says they haven't started yet, but I'll let you know. This was July of
22?
22.
Yeah, so it was just the pandemic's getting over. Everything is kind of
Right, material
readjusting.
supplies, everything else. Plus, it's when they changed the anniversary. In other words, the new 23 boats were going into production in July, and December 1st it was delivered. So approximately 6 months to manufacture the boat and get it here prepped and delivered to me.
And if you're getting a boat of this caliber, you probably want it made to order. You don't want it, unless you're really in a rush, you can sometimes maybe get it off the shelf, but I've never seen a lot of boats anymore down at Bass Pro.
Well, they cut their overhead because, of course, they were not selling boats during the pandemic. So
Right.
they had a lot of boats that they had to get rid of. I do know that they run a lease program. Walt Disney World, their fishing guides there, gets their boats from the Orlando Bass Pro Shop.
Okay.
There's 3 of them there now that they've used for the last 3 years in Bay Lake as a guided trip. No power on them. They took the outboards off of them, put them on the new boats
Okay.
that they got. If you're in a hurry for a boat, I would tell you, with the market being the way it is, shop around. For a few extra dollars, you'll get the boat that you want the way you want it.
Yeah. Good advice.
Uh,
And you're happy with Bass Pro?
I am very happy with their boat. I have a couple issues with their service department. We're in progress. We're working on that as we speak.
So that's something that they can improve upon. And if they do improve upon it, we'll leave a comment in the video. And
I was in touch with the general sales manager of the Orlando Bass Pro Shop last night concerning some of these service issues that arose the day I picked up the boat. And I've called and I wasn't getting any return communication from the service department. And that's what I brought forward to the general sales manager. Is him and I had a discussion through the whole process that you can buy anything anywhere,
Right.
but when you have a problem, you want it taken care of. And that seems to be the cliche here, whether it's a vehicle or a boat or whatever today. But again, I would recommend buying a Nitro bass boat by any means.
Yeah.
Very, very comfortable riding boat, very quick, responsive, and I'll say this, they're used in a lot of television tournaments to where that's the only boat in that tournament. Professionals use these boats.
we were there was maybe even a tournament today. You thought it was a Nitro tournament.
Yeah, I thought it was a
a
Nitro tournament because we counted at least 15 to 20 boats, and most of them were Nitro boats.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a night. They
Yeah.
have so many clubs around these days.
Right.
It's a possibility. I know there's Phoenix Boats is a very big boat in the country today, and they have clubs that just travel around the country just to fish Lake Harris or fish Lake Okeechobee or fish the Everglades or fish whatever. And again, this boat I've been very happy with. Not a first-time boat owner. I've had a Skeeter. I had a Storm, which was a custom-made performance boat. They're made for Lake Okeechobee and the Everglades flat waters. I had a Procraft
So this is not your first rodeo, is what you're saying?
No, this is not. And again, I chose this because I did a lot of research in this
Yeah.
one, knowing that the prices have changed and options
Yeah.
have changed greatly. But I would do it again. I would
Great.
buy this boat again.
All right. Well, thanks a lot to Scott for inviting us on his boat today. We went out in the water, had a great time. It's a fun boat to be on in the water, I'll tell you that. I have a bad back, and I had no issues at all. It just cuts through the water like a razor through butter. And if you have any questions, leave comments below. Scott will be able to answer, reply to any of your comments. If you have any specific information you need to know, or about one of the options, or what's available, like how many colors are available, for example. We didn't cover that.
If you go on their format, there's actually 14 colors in a boat. Now you can order a solid color boat, but it's going to take longer because that's not their general production setup.
Okay.
The way they make a boat today, the colors are put into the mold before one piece of glass goes in there. And then they start layering the glass. In other words, the black and the silver and
Right.
the name. All that stuff is in the mold before they start spraying the glass and laying the matting of the glass. Then once they get the hull done, then the cap is done in its own mold also. And then what they do is then they put the stringers in and they fiberglass them in, and then they join the two basically like any other boat by the rub rail on the side of the boat. A is plugged into B, secured by C.
Okay.
In the process before A goes into B, what they do is all the wiring, the plumbing, everything goes in the bottom of the boat that needs to go in. Very little is on the top cap. Very little. They try and keep everything down here. The boat is filled with glass and styrofoam for flotation purposes. One other thing I forgot, it comes with a Pro model, is the hull. Some people call it a gator, some people, it's a hull
okay.
protector.
Yeah.
You pull up on a boat ramp
Mm-hmm.
for some reason, and you don't have to worry about your ridge of your hull getting
Right.
chipped or scratched.
Right here. Yeah, some people add those on later,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. But again, if it's put on at the factory, they're using the right
Right.
glue adhesive or whatever that they use.
And it's a 200 horsepower. That's stock for the
200
Pro?
horsepower is the only motor that is put on this boat.
Okay.
You won't need any more unless your wife took out a large insurance plan on you or something.
No,
But
you go plenty fast. I
yeah.
can attest to that.
like I said, it's with Mario in the boat, I don't think I've exceeded 45 miles an hour. I respect other people. I have back issues. I know that I wanted to see what it could do once I got the broken hours in. I wanted to see what it would do. Like I said, 72 miles an hour with me and gas and no equipment in it. So that's more than what I need to travel at on water, is
Okay.
that kind of speed. But getting back to the colors, there's 13 or 14 colors you can put in. You can have this panel here a different color than all this in the back panel if you choose.
Very nice.
But I chose to keep it pretty simple.
It's nice and clean, white and black.
It is. It's always clean. You don't have to. I fished in boats that were, one was a June bug color, which is
Blue,
metallic black with metallic green in it, and they're very, very reflective. The
Right.
darker colors are very reflective.
In the hot Florida sun, you want something that's
Yep.
going to reflect the sun
Yep.
too. You don't need. This is not even hot to the touch.
No.
It's just.
No.
If that were black, I mean, forget it.
Yeah. Or even blue, a dark
Yeah.
blue. I mean, there's boats out there that are purple today. I mean,
Yeah.
they have the color spectrum is unlimited as far as what you want to do with a boat today. It's like a car.
Yep.
You want a certain thing on it, but I would say shop around, and I think you're going to find that the Nitro is competitively priced with everything else out on the market. There are some that really exceed a working man's budget or a retired person's budget, but each to their own.
Okay, so stay tuned for the rest of the video, and you'll see Scott and me out on the water today, and see how the boat travels on the water. And we did catch fish. It was a slow day today, but we had some fish in the boat. So, all right, so stay tuned.
Need a net?
I don't know. Oh, it's a nice one.
Bring them right up front here. I'll pull them in. Oh, nice fish. You're not going to hook me, so spin around here. Oh,
All right.
Like 2.5 pound fish. Well, you got him hooked in all different ways there. Let's get that one out there. That one's out.
That's a long one, huh?
You got him? You want me to get a picture of him?
Yeah, we got him on video.
Okay. I got my phone right there.
Kind of skinny.
Want to
though.
weigh him? Oh yeah, he's been hit by something.
Yeah. Yeah, we're
He's
good.
got a bruise in his mouth.
It's a big mouth, though. Holy
Yeah.
cow. Maybe 3 pounds, maybe. You got
Yeah.
a scale handy? I got one in my
Yeah.
bag.
Right here. It's in the glove box.
Oh, okay.
It can't be right.
Is that kilograms? It is.
Oh, okay.
So that's over 3 pounds.